Boom. All right, what's going on, you guys? It's Royce Jacob. Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we are going to be talking about the absolute roller coaster ride that was the Coinbase IPO today. As we've been expecting, this IPO definitely made waves across the sector. Unfortunately, as the day progressed, those waves did evolve into a storm. But you guys, the fundamentals remain unchanged. The short-term bull market is still alive and well on the charts. And I personally view today as an amazing opportunity to pick up some great names at a discount. So to sum up this entire video, I remain bullish, but we're still getting into it. So, as always, we'll quickly go over each topic we're going to be discussing, and then we'll dive into each one individually. In front of us, Trading View, where we'll cover the following names today in this order going down the watch list. Kicking it off, as always, with Bitcoin, with the king of the crypto sector, Bitcoin. Again, looking strong on the charts, you guys. I'm seeing multiple indicators that lead me to believe that we will continue this short-term bull rally. And of course, I will explain to you guys why that is once we actually dive into the charts. The first stock we're going to be looking at today cannot not be Coinbase. So ticker symbol COIN, great ticker symbol. Although there's really not much data to look at, I cannot give you guys any direct TA on this. We will still take a look at the chart and just see how it performed over the course of the day, because I'm sure many of you were watching it, and we can all just witness how much of an absolute roller coaster it actually was. So we'll take a look at COIN. Not going to spend too much time on that. Before we actually look at COIN, we'll take a look at Bitcoin on the charts to kick it off. But before we do look at COIN, we'll take a look at the first article and the only article that we're going to be covering today. So Coinbase's valuation soars in first public listing of a major cryptocurrency company. So we'll just go over a few paragraphs here, recap on what happened today, go over the valuation of Coinbase, and just revel in, again, although it didn't go necessarily as planned, it was still an amazing day for not only Coinbase, but the entire crypto sector. And again, really solidified cryptocurrency's place, not only in the financial markets overall, but definitely in the public equity markets. So we will go over this article quickly. After that, we're pretty much focusing solely on technicals. So RIOT, Mara, good old Bitcoin miners, taking an absolute hit right on the chin today, falling off a cliff. But even the technicals on those guys, although we fell off an absolute cliff, considering we've been running pretty well in both those names, although they fall off a cliff, they still look good to me, and you guys will understand why that is once we actually dive into the charts and look at the technicals. We'll move on to ZKIN. Haven't talked about ZK International in a while, but I will talk to you guys about why this play is actually looking pretty appealing to me right now. And then close it out, of course, with the two space plays that are CurrencyWorks or CWRK and ALYI. Again, you're seeing double-digit losses across the sector. ALYI got absolutely punished today, but you guys know that my time horizon on ALYI is so long because I believe in the vision so heavily that although this stings, although this absolutely cracks my net worth, as again many of you will know, it's okay. And I did accumulate today, and again, today in my mind was a great day to accumulate many just many positions that I'm long-term bullish on and will remain long-term bullish on until my ultimate price targets are hit. So again, all these names, technicals, price action, price targets, we will cover. But before we get into any of it, I do want to read the intro to this morning's newsletter that, of course, I sent to the portfolio newsletter group, just to let you guys know kind of what was running through my head when all of this volatility, all of this carnage was happening in the markets. Okay, so we'll just kick it off right now with this and then dive into the charts. All right, so it's Wednesday. The big day is here, and she's a feisty one. The Coinbase IPO has definitely created a storm within the sector. The majority of the entire market is actually feeling the rumblings of this event. So again, not only the crypto sector, but the majority of the entire equity markets were not looking too hot today, okay? I think many investors are currently viewing this as a classic buy the hype, sell the news event, but I'm viewing this as opportunity. We have options contracts expiring this Friday, and considering many investors are over leveraged in this market, margin calls are flying in the faces of many. These factors are creating for an especially volatile environment. So again, you guys, especially in such a volatile, not even just recently, but in just a generally risk-on sector like crypto. And again, as we see these IPOs coming, as institutional interest comes, the volatility will slow down and will be mediated. But still, we're still in the kind of the Wild West. Not really the Wild West, but we're definitely not super established in the sector yet. You're still going to see volatility. And again, especially this market with so many new retail investors, just cash is cheap. You can get, like, everyone's trading on margin, everyone's trading options, and a lot of people got squeezed out of their options today, which sucks. I'm sorry if you experienced that, but That's the game we're playing. You guys have to get used to the volatility. But the thing about volatility, always say embrace volatility, because volatility works both ways. And fortunately, in a bull market, the volatility to the upside is more present than the downside. Again, days like today hurt. It's hard not to act emotionally on days like today, but it's important to keep your eyes on the prize. And again, if you believe in the bull market like I do, then just stay strong. And again, view it as an opportunity for accumulation. That said, these waters are bloody and I'm smelling fear. With fear comes discounts. Be a shark in these waters. I made the following trades today. So a big reason that I haven't really been reading these all that much lately is because I do include this in the intro now, just to sum up all the trades I've made in a day. And I usually do that out of course, respect for the newsletter. But these are fairly simple. I'm sure you guys won't mind. So please let me know if you do. But I trust that you guys won't mind because again, these aren't super intricate trades by any means. So I bought more MAR calls, I bought more RIOT calls, and I bought more MAR, RIOT, ALYI, CWRK, and ZKIN shares. Taking a bit of profits from my crypto positions and added them to my options and stock portfolio. So as I always say, you guys, it's rare I trade cryptos. It's honestly rare to take profits from cryptos, although it is a significant piece of my overall net worth, my portfolio. But because cryptos, altcoin specifically, my altcoin portfolios are on absolute fire right now. Just the crypto portfolio overall is looking very strong. And considering we saw such crazy discounts today in these crypto equities, I could not reallocate some of my crypto positions to these bloody plays that I'm still very, very bullish on. Okay, so the price again. I'm sorry to any of you who are part of the newsletter if you're offended by this. I hope you're not, and I trust you're not. But again, I really just wanted to read this to reinforce the fact that I view today as a buying opportunity, and my money will always be where my mouth is. Okay, so I do believe we'll bounce back over the coming days. At the point at which we do, I'll likely reestablish longer calls to play it safe. So again, you guys know I like longer call positions. We'll have to see how this plays out, but sign up to the newsletter if you want to know exactly how I play this out over the coming days. Keep in mind, guys, so this is just a PSA that's important, not only for right now, but just for the remainder of as long as you guys are in the markets. My general time horizon is relatively long, and I'm fortunate not to need liquidity. On days like today, I'm actually fortunate in the sense that I can use my liquid to increase my position sizing in plays that I feel will give me massive returns over the long term. Patience pays off, but please, guys, never play with what you can't afford to lose. And again, you guys, that's the problem with calls. Watching the market today, all I could think about was those poor individuals with 416 calls, which expire this Friday, that had to sell that pretty much their calls went to zero. And that's how you get clean, guys. So please be careful. Although we're still in a bull market, I believe we're still in a bull market. And trust me, my call portfolio specifically got absolutely shot today. My net worth got shot today, as many of you guys know. But it's okay. Head up. This is a game we play forever. You live and you learn, and you only lose when you quit. So I know it's hard to think like that at the time, but again, you guys, the red days, I do want to read these on the red days as well, because it's important to keep your head up on the red days and not give up, because you only lose when you quit. So don't be a quitter, and keep your head up and just keep grinding, because the bull market's still here, baby. Okay, so before we do dive into the charts, I will ask you guys to please give the video a like if you do go on to gain value from it today, or if you're invested or trading any of the stocks we're talking about today, or if you're bullish on them, because I know most of you watching have that innate sense of optimism around this sector. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, want to catch more content like this. Again, it's that much funner to make content when the bull market is here. Even though today was absolute carnage, was a bloody day, again, I still like talking about, like, I'm in good spirits today, and that's because I'm still bullish on the future of this. And again, you guys, the red days are equally as important to cover as the green days. So always going to be pumping out content, red or green, for you guys. So subscribe to the channel if you want to join the Waves fam. And last but not least, check out my complete portfolio daily newsletter. First link down in the description. $15 a month if you want a complete breakdown of every single play in my entire portfolio. Call options, put options, stock positions, crypto positions. What I'm doing every single day, I do update that every trading day during market hours. And along with every update, I send out an email newsletter explaining my thoughts. So the intro will look something like this about every day. Give or take, it could be shorter or longer depending on what's going on that day. And then we go on to cover, again, many of the names during real time, involve some charts, just let you guys know what I'm thinking in terms of price action. And again, this is, if you want real time updates, I post these videos a little later in the day. So again, if you want kind of analyses during market hours of many of the plays that we frequent here on the channel, it means a lot if you check that out, put a lot of work into that, and I take a lot of pride into it. So it means a lot if you check it out. Again, $15 a month, first link down there below. Also have the private Discord, do hop in there once every day to talk shop. And again, that's the beauty beauty of community. The comments work just as well here, you guys, but that's the beauty of community. A tight-knit community, especially on the red days, are very important, not only to feel a little better. It's a lot easier dealing with hardship when you know other people are dealing with some hardship as well, but it's good for mental health. It's good for a community. Never place your worth on just the dollar amount of your portfolio, but about the community you have, about everything that's going on. That's why I'm so pumped to have the best family in the game, which is the Waves family. So shout out to all you guys. Really means a lot. And again, sorry I'm ranting right now, but it like, especially on days like today, it feels very, very good to be able to have somewhere to go to and just talk to people and keep your heads up, again, because that's the most important thing when times are hard. So again, check all that out. Really means a lot. For the links, all the links are down in the description. So let's dive into these charts. Okay, so Bitcoin looking green right now. I like to see that. We kicked off the video on the red here on the hourly candles at least, but we're looking green right now. So Bitcoin, there's two things I'm looking at here on the short term. The reason I'm on the hourly, it's rare we talk about the hourly. Definitely kick off a video on the hourly candles. You guys know I like to stick to 4 hours, sometimes daily even, but we're kicking it off on the hourly just because I want to show you guys kind of what happened. Right here was around the time of the Coinbase IPO. You see this crazy sell-off right here, a lot of sell volume. That was immediately eaten back up, but that did trigger some fear. Well, we saw a sell-off, but this is not worrying me because I'm seeing two things that I was actually I shouldn't say expecting, but do not surprise me in the least that played out. So the first is a retest. These are both like technical analysis 101. Barely even say it. These are just basic things you should look for on a chart, patterns. So a retest of the previous high prior to the most recent rally. So this previous high on April 9th at just above 61K, we came almost directly to that spot, and before bouncing up over the course of the day. And that's something that you'll see more often than not when you're in a short-term bull rally, or when you're just ripping. You're gonna see a pullback to the previous high prior to the current rip. Okay, so again, came down to almost perfectly test that previous high around 61.2. We also almost coincided perfectly with the overall line of support on the short-term uptrend. So beginning on April 7th. So over the past week or so, we have we are in an ascending channel technically. Right here's the top side of this ascending channel. I don't have it drawn right now, but as always, you guys draw these lines for yourselves on the chart. I'm actually gonna get rid of these because as we move around the chart, those are gonna get irritating. But line of support on the short-term ascending channel, very solid line. Most traders are going to be looking at this. This did intersect nicely. We didn't quite play that intersection out perfectly, but that's all right, close enough. Came down to test both, again, the previous high as well as the line of short-term support. So very strong here. Again, we're still setting higher highs, higher lows on the short-term uptrend, following a massive breakout and following a break of the new all-time high, which, again, you guys, although today was scary, every fundamental star, every technical star as well, is still pointing in the direction of more upside. And being a trader, being an individual who waits the odds as a career, I'm betting on more upside just because literally every star is pointing in that direction. Okay, so I do see more upside ahead. Let's go to the 4 hours here. I do still believe that it's highly likely unless we break this short-term resistance. So if we do break below this, maybe we see a pullback to test a stronger line of resistance, or a stronger line of support here. If we break the short-term support or this red line, it would make sense to me that we maybe pull back to test the overall support. This is a very, very strong line of support right here, which would take us down to about 59K over the coming days. I don't think that's likely. Again, everything is pointing upwards. Although the Coinbase IPO was wild today, it's still like there's so many eyes on the crypto space right now, and there's still so much capital out there. The dollar looks rough. Where's the dollar right now? Let's scroll up to the dollar real quick. Dollar setting new monthly lows. The dollar, I'll probably cover the dollar in the near future, not today, but dollar looks bad. And as we know, when the dollar looks bad, pretty much everything that trades against the dollar, which is pretty much everything, will do well ultimately. Okay, so I do still believe that Bitcoin is on its way to testing the overall line of resistance on the greater uptrend. If we hit this by the end of the month, it could happen faster. As many of you know, these things happen fast. But May 1st price target for Bitcoin is 85K. That will remain unless a trend line is broken. Okay, so let's hope we see that. And that said, let's hop into Coinbase. Again, I'll talk to you guys a little bit about how crazy this looks, but let's take a look at that article first. Go to the 5-minute candles to take a look at this because it's absolutely undigestible, of course, on pretty much anything that's not a very short-term time frame because we've only been trading for a day. Okay, so Coinbase valuation soars in first public listing of a major cryptocurrency company. again, blockbuster, you guys. I've been using Coinbase for years. This is a pivotal moment, not only for me, but again, for the entire crypto sector. It's almost sentimental. Shares in Coinbase, the first major cryptocurrency company to list its shares on a U.S. stock exchange, jumped in their market debut on Wednesday, showing that investors are hungry to get a piece of the hot market for digital currencies. Coinbase began trading on Wednesday afternoon at $381 a share, a 52% increase over a $250 reference price set by the NASDAQ on Tuesday. Parentheses, a reference price is set by a stock exchange based on expectations for where the stock will open. And again, as many of you know, especially in this current market environment, which like in this IPO frenzy, pretty much everything has been mispriced. So that shows you, whatever. The stock swung as low as 310 and as high as 429 in a volatile day of trading that reflected the unpredictable nature of cryptocurrency prices. Yeah, right. It's so almost like everyone thought it was going to pop off, but in the true nature of cryptocurrency, we could not have a curveball not thrown at us. Okay, so Coinbase ended the day at $328.28, valuing the company at a whopping $85.7 billion, counting all of its outstanding shares, more than 10 times its last valuation as a private company. So again, you guys, we can argue the semantics of what is valuation in this current market environment all we want, but the market is the market, and the market will ultimately dictate the market. So again, $85.7 billion company. This is a major company, and it makes sense. People want to invest in a piece of the future, and that's why people want Coinbase. Obviously, people were a little excited right off the bat, but over the course of the day, I think, again, I do believe investors did see this as it started to unfold as a buy the hype, sell the news event. There's a lot of fear. This fear reflected, of course, across the rest of the sector. But again, you guys, that's why it's very, very important to act rationally in the face of fear, because that's ultimately when you make money. And if you sell around here, like if you sell today and we pop tomorrow, that's when you'll really beat yourself, is because you acted emotionally when you should have acted rationally. And again, the bull market's still here. That's why you got to keep a close eye on good old Bitcoin. So Coinbase IPO over the course of the day, you can see the high here at about $430, the low here at almost like 310, below 310. Volume really fell off over the course of the day, rightfully so, because it was melting and the entire market was feeling the pain of this melt. So as I've been saying, you guys, again, it was important. This did not play out. Again, I thought, and I do still believe ultimately this will have very, very positive, a very positive net impact on the crypto sector as a whole. But today, again, people got a little scared, and this was, in my opinion, a buy the hype, sell the news event. That said, I still believe this thing will bounce back along with the rest of the sector. And yeah, I bought a share personally. Although it was melting, I had to buy. I couldn't not buy a share for the culture. So bought a share for the culture. If it goes down more, so what? If it goes up, I'll be excited, because I mean, a share of this is to me, I mean, not even a humble brag, but it's strictly for the culture. So you guys, the primary reason I'm not buying a whole bunch of shares is just because I don't like trading IPOs personally, especially in this market environment. There's not much chart to look at. I play swing, like you guys know, I swing trade primarily, so there's just not enough data for me to feel comfortable trading this yet. But I had to pick up a share of a company that I love very much for the culture of the cryptocurrency space that I love very much as well. So that's Coinbase. Again, keep an eye on what happens here. This had very negative ramifications on the sector today. So also keep in mind, pretty much just the takeaway from this is that likely moving forward, Coinbase will lead the crypto equity sector. So what happens with Coinbase in terms of price action will likely reflect on the rest of the sector. And that's just kind of a takeaway that I took away today. All right, moving on, RIOT blockchain. So RIOT getting absolutely smoked today. Let's go back to, we'll go to the 1 hours here and just kind of look at, we'll cover 1 hour today and keep it short for the most part. So RIOT, again, absolutely broke down today. You hate to see it, but at the same time, I still remain bullish. So RIOT is once again back in this. You know what? We'll go to the 4 hour, because we're keeping, again, you guys, the day-to-day price action, although it is scary, and I know a lot of you guys kind of care about that, which again is why I touch on this every day. But again, eyes on the prize. That's the reason I'm a swing trader, not a day trader, is because it makes every day that much easier for me, because if I have a target set in mind, unless something is significantly broken, then that target is still very in play for me. Okay, so again, higher highs, higher lows on the short-term uptrend beginning right here. High, low, higher high. Unless we break below this area right here, unless we break below, like, I'll say $47, that would make me a little worried. That would definitely make me worried, to be honest. But again, because Bitcoin's looking strong right now, I think it's very likely that all these stocks bounce significantly tomorrow. I think the price action we saw today was completely unwarranted, so I do believe we'll see a bounce tomorrow, and that would break RIOT perfectly out of the symmetrical wedge or bullish pennant that we've been seeing play out, like printing for so long, beginning in its high back in mid-February. So 2 months ago now, it's been printing this massive symmetrical triangle, almost perfectly at the tip. If we break out over the next day or two, would break out of a very bullish pattern. And I do still believe that we'll ultimately come up to those triple-digit RIOTs. Again, May 1st would take us to $105 RIOT. Again, I'm still bullish on the rest of this month, you guys. Maybe it happens faster. Let's go April 28th or something. That would take us to $100+ RIOT still. So conservative price target for RIOT by the end of the month remains at $100. I don't think this top trend line is going to come into play. I don't know why I even still have it drawn. I don't think that's fair, but I do definitely still think that this trend line will come into play. So price target for RIOT is the infamous triple digits that we've been talking about for so long here on this channel. So I remain bullish, and my portfolio reflects that. Again, money where my mouth is, you guys. So Mara is looking looking different, but so I'll explain what I'm saying here. So bull flag. Again, we broke out of the short-term bull flag following a very, very strong technical breakout. Did come down. Technically, right now, we are in a downtrend in Mara, unfortunately, because we are now printing on the current trend. We are printing like high, low, lower high, and lower low right now. So we are kind of in this downtrend right now. So I'll just draw that. If we do need to break above this to be technically short-term bearish right now, but which would be, I mean, tomorrow you're looking at April 15th. We'd have to break back above $50 pretty much to break out of this. Again, you guys, I'm just so my eyes are on this long term right here. Every trader's looking at this. We did just successfully break out on the short term of a very significant downtrend. So I do still believe that Mara will come up ultimately to test the overall line of resistance on the greater uptrend. Very strong line here. Very strong. Very evident line of resistance on the greater uptrend, which would take us to, again, just end of the month price targets, May 1st, April 30th, I should say, to an $87.50 Mara. So again, maybe it happens sooner, maybe it happens later, but I do think this trend line will ultimately be tested again, considering I think Bitcoin is on its way to 80K. So again, just hold tight through the volatility. If you believe in the sector, then again, days like today are opportunities. ZKIN has seen absolute carnage over the past just over the past like month. So ZKIN peaked March 24th. So over the past few weeks, ZKIN has seen absolute carnage. But what I'm seeing start to play out here, and again, it's so hard catching bottoms like this. There's no real trend in play right now. I guess actually you could say that ZKIN did technically break above. Yeah, no, ZKIN did definitely technically break above its downtrend, a very steep downtrend today. So we did see a technical breakout. I don't know why the heck I didn't see that later. I apologize to the newsletter guys. But again, I did buy more ZKIN today just because I'm seeing just intuitively higher highs and higher lows here. Actually, no, I'm going to keep that on there for tomorrow because I'm going to incorporate that in the newsletter for sure. I'm just seeing higher highs and higher lows. So on the overall uptrend, beginning way back in the beginning of February. So high, low, higher, obvious higher high, and I think we are capitulating. I think we're setting a lower or a higher low right now on this overall uptrend. So again, this is actually a very good looking chart to me. I think it's likely that ZKIN at the very it's crazy to say this is conservative, but it kind of is. Actually, you know what? This plays out pretty perfectly also with that. So we'll go with that. ZKIN price target is $16 on April 30th because this line that was once previous a very significant line of support and once again confirmed as new resistance. I do believe now that we've broken out will prove to be new resistance, and I think it's very and this new line of resistance, previous support, perfectly coincides with the line of resistance on the overall uptrend. So that would take us to, again, almost a $17 ZKIN by the end of the month, and that's very, very, like, this chart actually looks beautiful to me right now. So I'm glad I did accumulate some shares of ZKIN today. Let's see what happens next. Okay, so close it out with the two OTC over-the-counter plays that are CWRK and ALYI, both getting smoked today, but both still looking strong. So similar to RIOT, CWRK has broken back into the bull flag, and tomorrow will be the perfect point of what was a pretty solid bull flag. So bull flag, of course, as the name incites, historically bullish pattern, usually breaks out to the upside more often than not, for sure. Parabolic move up followed by a descending triangle, and again, tomorrow this bull flag I believe will be resolved, again, especially with the tailwinds of Bitcoin probably doing pretty well. The entire altcoin space is pulling back a little bit right now, but it's absolutely on fire. Like, my altcoin portfolio is surprising me because it's such a set it and forget it portfolio to me. It is surprising when I go in there and I just see some blockbuster numbers and crazy percentage gains. But again, CWRK, very cool, very, very cool company in my opinion, doing very cool things. And I do think with the current market cap of only, what are we at, 114 million bucks, like, there's so much growth potential here for CWRK. As I've been saying, CWRK looks so similar to RIOT in terms of what the chart setup, how it looked on the charts when RIOT was around CWRK's price just about a year ago. And I'm so bullish on CWRK again, considering all the fundamentals, considering all the bull flags repeating themselves. I think it's way more likely than not that CWRK ultimately resolves this bull flag to the upside. And my price target for CWRK by the end of the month is going to be $4.20. So $4.20 for conservative $4 price target, which is pretty much a 2x from here. And same as many of the other plays in my portfolio, I'm prepared for such movement. Closed out with the real loser of the day. It sucks to say this, but ALYI. So ALYI on the charts. Let's just look at. I'll show you what I'm seeing here. So ALYI today perfectly used previous support or previous resistance as new support. So you can see on the overall uptrend since we broke out at the beginning of April, technically, again, touch point here, very, very significant uptrend from ALYI's high back in early February at 20 cents. We are using bounce perfectly off this line. Again, that was one significant resistance as new support. In my mind, you guys, it's so unlikely. And of course, because the market cap is so small, ALYI is a freaking $6.7 million company. Like this, it's crazy how small this company is. Like, it's crazy that this is even like a company can be this small. But again, you guys, that's the game. When investors get scared, there's not many. There physically can't be many investors involved in this stock right now. And when people get scared, unfortunately, I'm sorry if some of you guys got scared out today. That's okay. It's understandable. I didn't. I bought more. But again, my time horizon is so long that I can withstand. And the main thing, again, you guys, I'm in a very, very fortunate place. A lot of that is thanks to you guys, that I don't need immediate liquidity, and I have the luxury and the benefit of being able to hold a long-term time horizon. But again, the vision is still great. In the Discord today, someone just sent a great picture of an ALYI bike, like the Modus Revolt bike in person. That made me so much like happier, especially after today. It made me so happy to see that. And I definitely needed that. I definitely needed some encouragement. But it just does not make sense to me to see just a lower, to see much more downside on ALYI. Again, because it's so small, because there's so much volatility in such a small company. And even like little capital inflow, both in and out, can rapidly sway the share price of this stock. It sucks, but just intuitively, and even if it does, I don't really care, just because again, my time horizon is so long on this. I'm waiting till we hit $1, $10. Like I'm just waiting, and that's okay with me. If it goes to zero, then it does. But as far as asymmetric risk profile, I think ALYI has so much going for it as a company that I'm comfortable waiting. And again, the volatility sucks. It crushes my net worth, as again, many of you guys know. But again, that's okay. Eyes on the prize. I got to practice what I preach. So from a technical perspective, you can say that since ALYI's overall double bottom right here, high, as long as we don't break, excuse me again, sorry. As long as we don't break below like 3.5 cents, then I think it's just likely that we will ultimately go back up. But let's hope, again, we're testing support right now. I'm just bullish on the overall project and the market environment. And again, ALYI is so exciting that it's just a matter of time before enough exposure is brought to this company. And again, I'm doing my best to bring exposure to what I feel is a very cool project. But again, it still does take a significant amount of capital to move this stock. And yeah, we just got to wait for that to happen and wait for ALYI to continue doing what they do, pumping out great news, pumping out great, just everything they've been doing. Just keep doing what they're doing. And it, like, over time, it will ultimately pay off in the share price, I believe, at least. So from a technical perspective, we are in a downtrend right now. If we do test the line of resistance on the short-term downtrend over the coming days, so let's just do April 16th, the end of this week. If we bounce up significantly, that would take us back up to about 7.5 cents. If we can break out of this, that's when it gets bullish. So if we break out of this, I think we will come up to ultimately test the line of support on this previous channel before ALYI broke down. Again, proved to use it as new resistance. I think that will be another trend line to keep an eye on. If you like, again, trends, like technicals really don't mean much to me for ALYI. It is acting technically surprisingly for how like little, I mean, we saw a lot of volume today, but for how like just low the market cap still is. But again, you guys, I'm just confident in the fact that over time, enough attention will be brought on upon ALYI, and enough people will begin to understand what a cool project this thing is. If you guys don't know, I keep saying that, but I'm not going to elaborate on it. I have multiple videos specifically on ALYI if you guys want to learn more about what the company does and stuff, like deep dive analyses on ALYI. But I remain bullish, you guys. Again, these are just kind of like, if you guys just want to stop right here and take a look at my price targets here, like I think we can get to 10 cents once we break back double-digit cents. I think we're back off to the races. And again, you guys, my ultimate price target for ALYI is $1. When will ALYI reach $1? That would be to test the overall line of resistance on the greater uptrend using those two highs right there. My B-Day, May 19th. It's so funny how that worked out, but that's just how it goes. So I would be so pumped to have a $1 ALYI as my birthday gift. Let's hope for it. But again, you guys, if it takes longer, it takes longer, and that's okay with me. So we will call it there, you guys. I hope you enjoyed that one. That was a fun one. So please let me know down below what stock that we covered today you're the most excited on, what you think is going to bounce back the hardest. If you invested in Coinbase, did you pick up a share for the culture? If you're bullish on Bitcoin, what your price targets for everything we covered today are. Just always love talking shop with you guys. Always love learning from you guys. So I'll catch you downstairs in the comments. And until next time, always remember, take action, make waves. Make waves. Always do that. Make waves, guys. All right, have a good one, guys. Peace.